Sports with your host Jay Pops. Guys, I knew it. I knew it. I am I'm very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. A&M is now 3-6. They just lost to the Florida Gators by a score of 41-24. A complete blowout. What gets me is the simple fact that A&M was up 24-20 at halftime. Just all kind of firepower in the first half, just going. I have no clue why we pull back when we're up tempo like the way we are and just go into a complete shit show. That team had every bit of chance, opportunities to win this football game. I can't be encouraging for y'all. I can't. Now, granted, the team that Florida played, man, that wasn't supposed to be the starting lineup. That was not supposed to be the starting lineup at all. But when you're the number 4 most talented team in the country, man, you don't have any excuse. You're supposed to be ready at all times. And I mean at all times. Okay? Once again, I just don't know what to tell you. Now, all of a sudden, my kids have all come back right when I'm doing this show. But it's no answers for me. It's none, man. Like I say, I don't want to say Florida Gators got lucky on this one because they played the team in which, like I said, man, that wasn't supposed to be the starting lineup. Haynes King was not supposed to be in. Look, I respect Haynes King for his toughness and everything. I don't know if that young man has been cursed while being a starter or what, but man, that guy just turns the ball over completely in insane amount of times. He haven't started a full season, and when he's been in there, he's turned the ball over at least once or twice. I don't know why that is. I can't explain Haynes, and I hyped him up for so much. This is sad, man. This is the saddest football team. This is the saddest Aggie football team I've witnessed in all of my years of watching Aggie football. I was not here for the Mike Sherman days, so I know a lot of people love to talk about that. I was not here for the Mike Sherman days. So I don't know how that season feels watching it game after game after game. All right, I wasn't here in 1980 when they lost 5 straight. I wasn't. All I can say is this here. At some point in Jimbo Fisher's contract, he was going to have to take some losses. Our thing is, why didn't the losses come in the first season when he signed? That's my biggest issue. Why didn't that come in the first season? Understand that we didn't have to go 9-4 in the first season. But Jimbo done that with a veteran, with pretty much like a veteran squad that he had. This season doesn't look like 2019 season. It damn sure looks like that Mike Sherman season that went 4-8. I don't believe we're going to go 4-8, but we're definitely heading for 5-7 this season. It ain't no doubt about it in my mind. I'm already marking it, and I'll be totally out of line if I didn't tell you that I expect this season to go 5-7 now. Because LSU is a tall task. LSU comes here. We had no business losing to Florida, but we can every bit of go out there and lose LSU like nothing in the world. It blows my mind, man. It blows my mind. I know a lot of talk is going around about, okay, well, do you think those guys are going to transfer out from that number 1 class? I say no because of the reason this here. No. Let me rephrase it. I say no because of this reason, solely only. Jimbo Fisher knew when he took that #1 class with all those players, it was going to come with something in return. It was going to either come with a winning season or it was going to come with a losing season. Don't know when that losing season was going to be, or it was going to come with a lot of injuries where he was going to be forced to play all those freshmen. What you're looking at right now is two of those things of what I just said. He was going to have to take a risk at losing if he was going to play that many freshmen at once, and he was going to have to take a risk at losing if it was going to be injuries. Just so happened he's played almost every bit of freshmen that he signed, which is like 22, in which RG3 told you on the broadcast that was unheard of. No team in college football history has played that many freshmen. And that's just that. So when you're playing that many freshmen in the SEC, especially at the quarterback position, in which Connor is still going to be starting, I believe Connor will come back next week, you're going to have to take them lumps. And as of right now, every team on mankind is taking their shots at A&M right now. App State was #1. They took their shot and they won. All right. Every team after that has taken their full shot. They're taking their full shot and they've taken their full advantage. And that's not going to stop. That is not going to stop. This team is going to have to get back up next week and play at 6:30. All right, I'm going to say that once again. This team is going to have to get back up next week and play at 6:30. I can't even count that game as a win. Guys, we just got to sit there and watch that. We just got to sit there and watch it. And I don't know who's going to win. You cannot ask me that. I'm not going to make no prediction. Just know that game is a toss-up game. UMass game is a toss-up game. And LSU is right now with 75, LSU 25% A&M. Only because A&M is at home. and they're not going to be the favorite to win that game. All right? That's just that, man. I hate that the players have to go through this. I hate that the fan base has to go through this. I hate that those students have to go through what they're going through because they sat outside for those tickets. And I'm gonna tell you right now, for that LSU game, they're gonna sit outside again and camp out for those tickets. They're gonna camp out for them. This is the only team in college football instead of Nebraska that can get up and tell you that, hey, man, I'm going to show up to a game and I'm going to sit down. It's nobody else that's going to do that. All right? It's nobody else at all. Man, I don't know what to tell you at this point. I'm still agging all the way. I think my son is coming in. He's made the basketball team, y'all. He has made the basketball squad. So now he's back bouncing basketball all over the place. But I'm going to answer this about recruiting as well. As y'all can hear it in my voice, I can't be excited. I'm sad. I'm very sad. I can't be excited with you. I'm very sad, man. Because, man, it has been a rough season. But we're going to stick it out. We're going to stick it out. I'm going to wear this thing with pride and heart, determination, just as well as those players. And they're wearing this with pride, man. I don't know what you go to the locker room and tell those kids after 5 straight losses. I don't. I wish I could be in that locker room with them. All credit to Jimbo Fisher taking that on. But I don't know what you say. I guess you can look to Steve Sarkisian for some advice because he went in there 5 and 7. So, man, I don't know what to say. So, that team is very, very talented. They shouldn't be losing these games. And those guys know they shouldn't be losing these games. But, so a recruiting question, will we lose the recruits that we have already? No, because the thing about recruiting is that the guys that you've recruited, they want to come to the program to make it a better program. All right? That's just what it is. That's the thing about recruiting. That's why I love recruiting so much. Those guys want to come and help the program evolve, get better. It's just puzzling to us that Jimbo's in his 5th year and he's 3-6. I'm not going to go and say that Jimbo's not a good coach like everybody keeps on trying to say and keep on trying to bash him. But I believe after he made that comment about Nick Saban, everybody was up in arms about that whole situation, in which Jimbo was only defending his team. So I still stand by him on that because Nick Saban was wrong for what he said, and he was the one that started it. But I think the motivation and the firepower was heading in A&M's way so much to where coaches around the nation, and Nick Saban in number one, he had to do something to slow down that momentum. I'm sorry, momentum. The momentum was swinging in A&M's way so much to where he had to slow that down. And Jimbo said something that a lot of people didn't like, in which he just spoke his mind. And once again, he took up for his players, and that's indeed why I don't believe those players will go anywhere neither. Jimbo is going to take up for his players. You're not going to ride them. He can tell you all day long, you can ride me, but you ain't going to ride them. The recruits seen that. They're very frustrated. Nobody signed up for what it looks like to be a 5-7 season. Nobody. As much viewers as I has on this, which is 10, and as much likes is what those guys signed up for. That means 10-2. Now I'm 12-2. That's what they signed up for. They didn't sign up to go 5-7. All right? But in the end, where lies pain, it also lies happiness at the end of the tunnel. So can we look ahead to next season already? Yes. We can go ahead and start planning for next season. At this point, Jimbo Fisher's very smart. He's a very smart head coach. He's going to get an offense coordinator. I cannot keep telling you guys this. He's going to get an offense coordinator. Okay? I can tell you one guy. Look at TCU. That's who I believe that they're shooting for. They're shooting for the guy at TCU right now. All right? Nothing that's been confirmed. Don't believe me. I've been wrong for this long, so don't believe me. But they're shooting for the guy at TCU to be their number one choice. From what I've heard. That's just that. Now, does TCU know this? I'm pretty sure they do. Are they going to try to make an offer in which he can't refuse or something? Yeah, they are. Is A&M going to make a bigger offer? Yeah, they are. If Jimbo Fisher doesn't end up with offense coordinator, then that would completely shock me. That would completely shock me. There's no reason that these guys shouldn't be a high-powered offense. Le'Veon Moss is showing you what he looked like and why they went out and recruited him to be a part of that number one class. Okay? Connor Wingman just showed you that on last week. Evan Stewart has been showing you that all season. Moose Muhammad has showed you that this year, in which he was recruited in previous class. Jared Kerr showed you that. Smoke Boo, yeah, he got beat on that play. That's fine. He's going to have to take his lumps as a freshman. He showed you why he's coming. Well, why he's come from Georgia, in which Georgia had him. And look at Georgia. He didn't want to be there. He wanted to be at A&M because he wanted to start something new. Do I think DJ Durkin will be retained? Yeah, I do. DJ Durkin ain't going anywhere for people out there wondering. DJ Durkin ain't going anywhere at all. Will DJ Durkin be better next season? Yes, because he will have a more veteran group. Guys will have experience, and he can rotate all day long. Do I think he's going to run the three-man front next year? He's going to run it sometime, so y'all better get ready for that. He is going to run that. All right? I see one of you guys saying, I think Durkin isn't a good fit. Not aggressive enough. I agree, because he doesn't call many blitzes. But you got to look at recruiting, because once Anthony Hill get here, Anthony Hill will be the starter. Is Anthony Hill staying in this class? Yes, people. Anthony Hill was. I don't believe Texas will flip that guy. Okay? I believe he has a strong relationship with this coaching staff. He has a strong relationship with DJ Hicks. And I don't believe DJ Hicks flipped Florida, nor Texas. Okay? I do not believe that. once again, these guys are going to stay. It's going to be very hard for A&M to flip guys going forward because they're really going to have to show them something. But I think if they get that offensive coordinator in the offseason, in which may be December, then I do think they have a realistic chance of flipping Ruben Owens. I do believe they have a realistic chance of flipping my guy that committed to Alabama, Tony Mitchell. I believe they have a realistic shot of flipping Peyton Bowen, which is at Notre Dame. They're not going to flip Malachi Nelson, nor they're going to flip Zachariah Branch. You can go ahead and kill that. However, I wouldn't rule it out if they go out and get that offensive coordinator. Once again, guys are being recruited to make the program better than where it's at today. Who do I think? Okay, so it looks like you tuned in late. Who do I think they get an offensive coordinator? The guy at TCU. I think they literally go out and they go and buy out the guy at TCU. Garrett Riley. I said I wasn't going to say no names, but I just told you TCU offensive coordinator. Garrett Riley is who I believe they'll go out and get. Okay? You got to understand that Garrett Riley is a Texas guy. He knows the state of Texas, and he can go out there and recruit for you. All right, you have a realistic shot of signing guys on offensively at the skill position, having Garrett Riley as your offense coordinator, in which he knows Texas, and he's very, very young. He's very, very young, and I'm not going to say that Jimbo Fisher is getting away from connecting with the younger guys. I'm just going to say that his offense is getting away from the younger guys. That isn't an offensive scheme to be running with these 18 and 19-year-old kids anymore. I know a lot of people have been telling me that. Yeah, I know that. But if you don't have an offensive line that can stay upbeat and run that offense, you can't run it. And at this point, man, you cannot continue to wait until guys develop into their senior season and say, all right, now we finna click. Guys won't stay for that long anymore. They just won't. They will either leave the team to transfer portal or they will go ahead and go to the NFL draft. Who do I think will come back? I believe A-Chain will be back. Antonio Johnson definitely will not be back. He's gone. I don't blame him. He's being projected as a first rounder, in which he needs to go. He's gone. Tyreek Chappelle, he's going to come back for his junior year. Jalen Jones, I believe he comes back because he needs to improve his draft stock. Anaya Smith, you will have him. Moose Muhammad, he ain't going anywhere. But I believe Moose has by far improved this draft stock. And it will only get better. Leighton Robinson, I don't believe that he's going to leave. And you're going to have a couple of guys, once again, in that defensive backfield that's going to help you out. The whole entire defensive line group is coming back. None of those guys are leaving because none of those guys are projected to go anywhere. All those guys coming back. That is the most terrible run defense I've seen, period. Even Kevin Sumlin, defense coordinator, wasn't that bad in the run. But that is the most horrible defensive running unit I have seen, I've witnessed, period. Yes, Chris Marshall will be back. He ain't going anywhere. Chris Marshall wants to be an Aggie. But he's on indefinite suspension. I believe that's throughout the entire season. Do I believe Demvo Bands is coming back? Yes, I believe he'll be back. Who else had got suspended? Anthony Lucas, he'll be back. And PJ, he'll be back. All those guys that got suspended indefinitely, they didn't get kicked off team, people. They will be back. Not for this season. Next season. God, we got to wait 2023. That is going to be a long goddamn waiting period. But, hey, man, it is what it is. Do I believe we sign a top 10 recruiting class? Yeah, it's possible. If we don't sign top 10, expect for it to be like top 11, top 12. What am I shooting for? Top 10, maybe like the 9th best class, 10th best class. It's going to be one of those. What is the talent composite ranking going to be next year? They will still indeed be either the fourth best class or the fifth best class. Well, the fifth best talented roster. I think they'll be the fifth best talented roster in college football next year. That's crazy. It's only going to drop a small margin, people. But if everybody is going to be played on the field already, so that's our only positive right there. Everybody comes back with experience. So be ready for it. It has just been a long season, man. Am I ready for it to be over with? Yeah, but no, because I love watching Aggie football, even when they're down. I love my Aggies, man. I love watching them. But we have to stay here with this group. It just shocks us that we're having our worst football season since 1980. 5 straight losses. We've broken the record. What kills me is that both of these Texas teams that are the big dogs of Texas, so far as Texas college football is concerned, both of the big dogs, the money moguls, tied for the richest brands in college football, they're garbage. They're garbage right now. They're garbage. They're horrible. And I just don't understand it. I don't. That's what's shocking and that's what's killing me. But we'll get through it. It is what it is. We're gonna sit and we're gonna watch the Georgia and Tennessee game. We're gonna watch the rest of college football and we'll go from there. Is Jimbo getting fired? No. Please don't come on here and ask me that. Jimbo ain't going nowhere. Does it look like the last year he had at Florida State? It does. But at the same time, Jimbo left during that season. You got to remember that. The team is still behind Jimbo. They just can't find a win right now. The only difference with him and Florida State is that Florida State just had all kinds of stuff going on. With A&M, they don't have that much stuff as Florida State had going on. I believe that by him having that big of a contract, he could afford to take those losses this year, which is crazy to me. It's crazy I'm telling y'all this. But he could afford to take those losses. and he can look to next year. Next year he comes out and he has an 8-4 record with firing his ass on the spot. I'm tired of people saying that, A&M has come up with that buyout. Understand that we could have came up with that buyout 2 years ago. Money ain't got nothing to do with it. Money doesn't have nothing to do with it at all. And I'm tired of people trying to say that. The buyout has nothing to do with it because if we wanted to buy him out, we could buy him out already. We could end this contract and he can go on about his business. We want somebody here to steer the program in the right direction, but we know as A&M fans in those in the border regions knew they was going to have to take a sacrificial year somewhere. Okay? They was going to have to take it somewhere. I'm glad somebody said that. Even with a buyout, who's there to replace Jimbo? I don't know. I don't. It ain't nobody that you can go and buy from a program right now instead of Lane Kiffin. If y'all want Lane Kiffin, then let that be known. But Lane Kiffin hadn't won on the national title. He don't even much know what it feels like to win one as a head coach. Offense coordinator, yes. Head coach, no, he doesn't. He knows how to win. I'll give him that. But I don't want him as my head coach. I don't. He will have all the talent in the world to work with. You best believe that. But I don't. I'm fine with Jimbo. I was ready to take some losses within the season. I just didn't know which season it was going to be. I didn't look for it to be this season. I will say that. But I do have to fall into the mindset of others. And I have to state my apologies to others. A lot of people told me, no, bro, this year would not be our year. 2023 is what you need to look at. And I heard a lot of people in the media say this too. As much as they bash Texas A&M, a lot of people in the media tried to tell me time and time again and tried to tell us all, 2023 is the year that y'all got to look at, man. This year, we should have went 9-3. We should have went 9-3. Next year is the season that we have to look at. I didn't want to believe him. Now I have no choice but to believe him. 2023 is indeed the year. And that's just that, man. We will have to accept that. It's just hard for us to accept that. It's hard for us to accept that. Because at least we make it to a damn bowl game. I just don't believe we're gonna make it to a bowl game this year. I don't. And I'm your biggest believer. And I'm the one that encouraged you all. But I don't know where this team is headed right now. Can we get there? Yes. But are we? I don't know, man. I don't. I got faith. But the faith is growing to an... It's like this. If we would have won this game, I would have been talking different. Let's see after next week. Let's see after next week. If Connor throws for over 300 with 4 touchdowns again, you'll see me come on this podcast talk totally different again. But they got to show me. They have to show me. That's all I got for you. Love you all. Gigamax.